My wife convinced me to open our marriage while I was in therapy for depression. She said I was too broken to meet her needs, then slept around recklessly and even tried to give me an STD out of spite. I stayed calm, gathered proof, and filed for divorce. Now her family is begging me to take her back, but I'm done being her victim. Hello Reddit I plus here. My name is Jonathan Hale, and I'm 39 years old. If you'd told me 5 years ago that I'd be divorced, estranged from most of my in-laws, and piecing together a life from the ruins of a marriage I once thought unbreakable, I would have laughed in your face. Back then, my life looked picture perfect. Stable job, loving wife, a house with a yard, and plans for kids. But life doesn't just fall apart in a single moment. Sometimes it crumbles slowly, crack by crack, until one day, you wake up surrounded by rubble and wonder how you didn't see the collapse coming. For me, the collapse began after my younger brother Michael died in a car accident. He was only 31. I was the older brother, the protector, the one who was supposed to look out for him, but I couldn't save him that night. Grief consumed me. Nights stretched into weeks where I barely slept. I went through the motions at work, financial auditing, the kind of job where numbers always made sense even when life didn't. At home, I withdrew into silence, replaying Michael's last voicemail until the words burned into my brain. My wife, Lauren, was supportive at first. She's 36, a nurse, and she knows how to comfort people in pain. She cooked, reminded me to eat, sat beside me when I stared blankly at the TV. She even made the appointment with my therapist, Dr. Chen, when I couldn't muster the strength to dial. But patience wears thin. Grief doesn't follow a timeline. And by month 4, Lauren's comfort turned into sighs, rolled eyes, and comments like, "You can't live in this hole forever, John. I need my husband back, not this zombie version of you." I wanted to recover. I really did, but grief isn't a light switch. One evening in late September, Lauren sat across from me at the dinner table, twirling pasta on her fork without eating. Her expression was rehearsed, like she'd been practicing something in the mirror. "Jonathan," she began softly, "I've been thinking about us. About how different things feel lately." I braced myself. "You're too deep in your own pain to see me, and I don't blame you for that, but I need to feel alive again. Desired, appreciated." Her words landed like stones, then she said it, the sentence that altered the course of our marriage forever. "I think we should open our marriage." At first, I thought she was joking. We were monogamous, traditional. We'd never even flirted with the idea, but she leaned forward, eyes wide with sincerity, and explained, "It's not about replacing you, it's about survival. I need passion and excitement right now, and you're not in a place to give that. This way, I won't resent you. This way, I can stay." That was the bait. I was terrified of losing her on top of my brother. So, against every instinct screaming inside me, I agreed. Lauren wasted no time. Within 2 weeks, she was on dating apps. Within a month, she was glowing in a way she hadn't in ages. New dresses, new perfumes, laughter that didn't include me. She told me about a firefighter named Tyler, then a gym trainer named Derek, then an art curator named Nolan. Meanwhile, I went on exactly 1 date. The woman was kind, but when I explained my situation, she looked horrified and said, "Your wife talked you into this while you're grieving? That's not love, that's exploitation." She was right, but I wasn't ready to admit it. Lauren, on the other hand, was thriving. She came home late, sometimes not at all. When I tried to set boundaries, like no bringing partners into our home, she brushed them off. "Don't be controlling, John. You agreed to this. You said you trusted me, but trust eroded quickly." I found receipts for hotel rooms, lingerie I'd never seen before. And then, in December, I discovered the truth that shattered what little faith I had left. I woke one morning with a fever, chills, and a burning pain I couldn't explain. At urgent care, after a series of awkward questions, the doctor ordered tests. When the results came back, my heart dropped. Chlamydia. I hadn't been with anyone except Lauren. That meant it came from her. When I confronted her, she didn't even bother denying it. "Condoms break, Jonathan. It happens. Stop being dramatic." But then she said something that made my blood run cold. "Besides, if I'm stuck with this, it's only fair you are too." Fair. She'd knowingly risked my health. I documented everything. Medical records, texts, dates, receipts. Quietly, I started building a file. The breaking point came in March. I walked into our living room to find Lauren on the couch with Nolan, the art curator, sipping wine like they owned the place. "Hey, babe," she said casually. "You remember Nolan, right?" That night, I packed a bag and left. I stayed on my cousin's couch while I contacted a lawyer. Lauren didn't chase me. She didn't even call. But her family did. Her mother begged me not to give up. Her sister texted at all hours. She was confused. She's learned her lesson. Please take her back. But I knew better. 3 weeks later, Lauren called with news that nearly broke me again. I have herpes, she said flatly. And you need to get tested. We slept together last month, remember? I sat in silence, dread filling every corner of me. Lauren, did you know? I asked finally. She hesitated, then said the words that sealed her fate. I suspected. But honestly, if I have to live with this, you should too. It's only fair. You drove me to this life. Your depression, your weakness. You ruined me. So now you get to share the consequences. That was when the fear in me hardened into resolve. I got tested immediately. Thankfully, I was negative, but I had proof of her intent. Proof of the lies, the reckless behavior, and the deliberate harm. I filed for divorce the following week. My lawyer, Miss Kelly Rhodes, called Lauren's actions a cocktail of infidelity, financial abuse, and medical assault. She said the evidence would not only secure my freedom but protect me legally. Lauren's family kept calling. She's sorry. She'll change. Please, John. The first time Lauren was served the divorce papers, she called me within 5 minutes. Jonathan, what the hell is this? Her voice was sharp, half panicked, half indignant. It's what you forced me into, I said calmly. I won't live like this anymore. You can't just walk away, she shouted. We have a life together, everything we built. You're just going to throw it all away because you're too fragile to handle the truth? The truth? I nearly laughed. You deliberately tried to give me an STD, Lauren. That's not the truth. That's attempted assault. Her silence told me I'd hit a nerve. Then she hissed, "You're going to regret this. You won't win." And just like that, the war began. My attorney, Kelly Rhodes, was a no-nonsense woman in her early 50s with a sharp bob haircut and eyes that could slice through lies like glass. She sat me down in her office, a wall of neatly organized files behind her, and said, "Jonathan, your wife is going to play dirty. People like her always do. But you have one thing she doesn't. Evidence. We're going to use it." Sure enough, within 2 weeks, Lauren filed her response. She accused me of neglect, emotional cruelty, and being too unstable to remain married. She's setting up a narrative, Kelly explained. She'll try to frame your depression as abuse. But don't worry, we'll dismantle it piece by piece. Still, seeing those words, unstable, unfit, abusive, in black and white, broke something in me. When word spread about the divorce, Lauren's family went on the attack. Her mother, Janice, called me crying, begging me not to ruin her daughter's reputation. Her father, Robert, accused me of abandoning her during a difficult time. Her younger brother, Chris, even showed up at my apartment door one evening, fists clenched. "You're destroying her life, John," he spat. "You can't just leave when things get tough. That's not what marriage is about." I stared at him, exhausted. "She destroyed this marriage, Chris, not me. And if you think I'm lying, ask her about the multiple men she's been sleeping with." He froze, blinked, then shook his head in denial. She wouldn't do that, but I could see it in his eyes. He knew. They all knew. They just didn't want to face it. The first hearing was brutal. Lauren came in dressed like an angel in white, her hair pinned neatly, eyes glistening with crocodile tears. Her lawyer painted me as a man spiraling into depression, neglecting his wife, forcing her into loneliness. Lauren even broke down on the stand, whispering, "I just wanted love." He pushed me away. He left me no choice. I clenched my fists under the table. No choice? She'd had 100 choices. She chose betrayal every time. Then Kelly stood. Calm, precise, lethal. "Mr. Hale," she said, "can you tell the court why you sought medical treatment in December?" I handed over the medical report. The courtroom murmured as Kelly read aloud, "Chlamydia diagnosis. Patient reports exclusive sexual relationship with spouse." Gasps filled the room. Lauren's face turned crimson. Kelly then submitted texts Lauren had sent me. "If I'm stuck with this, it's only fair you are too." The judge's expression hardened. Lauren's mask slipped, and for the first time, I saw panic in her eyes. From that day, Lauren's campaign shifted. She went from pretending to be the wounded wife to attacking me full force. She spread rumors that I'd been abusive. She told mutual friends I'd cheated first. She even claimed I was making up the STD story to smear her. But every lie she told, I countered with proof. Screenshots, receipts, dates. One night, I got a message from one of her partners, a man named Derek. "Dude, I didn't know she was married. She told me you two were separated. I'm sorry. If you need me to testify, I will piece by piece." Her web unraveled. But victory wasn't free. The stress took a toll on me. Weight loss, sleepless nights, constant anxiety. My job performance slipped. My boss called me in, concerned. "Jonathan, you've always been reliable, but lately, you're not here. Even when you're here, you need time off." Take it, I hated admitting it, But he was right. The divorce had consumed me. Kelly reminded me, "This is temporary. Endure this storm, and you'll walk out free." But freedom came at a cost. Every time I saw Lauren in court, every time she smirked at me, I felt that old mix of grief and rage clawing at my chest. The lowest point came one night in April, alone in my apartment, surrounded by half-empty boxes I still hadn't unpacked. I stared at a bottle of whiskey and the bottle of antidepressants my doctor had prescribed. I thought about my brother, about Lauren's words, "You ruined me. You're weak." And for a moment, I almost believed her. But then I remembered Dr. Chen's voice from therapy. "You're grieving, Jonathan, not broken. Don't confuse pain with weakness." I put the bottles away and called my cousin instead. He picked up on the first ring. "You're not alone," he said firmly. "Not now, not ever." That night I realized Lauren hadn't destroyed me. She'd only tried. By June, the tide had shifted completely. Kelly demolished Lauren's financial claims, showing how she'd siphoned money from our joint account to pay for hotel rooms and gifts for her lovers. We subpoenaed Nolan, the art curator, who admitted under oath that Lauren had introduced me as her ex-husband months before the divorce even began. Piece by piece, her lies collapsed. The judge granted me temporary control of the house, citing Lauren's reckless behavior. When we walked out of court that day, Lauren cornered me in the hallway, her eyes wild. "You think you've won?" she hissed. "I'll never let you go. If I can't have you, no one will." For the first time, I didn't feel fear. I felt pity. Because Lauren wasn't my wife anymore. She was just a stranger wearing her face. One of the worst parts of the divorce wasn't the courtroom. It was the friendships I lost. A couple we'd known for years, Mitch and Claire, stopped answering my calls. When I ran into Claire at the grocery store, she gave me this frosty look. "Jonathan, you should have been there for Lauren," she said, clutching her basket like a shield. "She was lonely. People make mistakes." "Mistakes?" I asked, staring at her. "She deliberately tried to give me an STD, Claire. That's not a mistake. That's malice." But Claire just shook her head. "People only hear your side. I don't know what to believe anymore." It hit me like a punch. Some people didn't want the truth. They wanted the prettier lie. But then there were others. Quiet supporters I never expected. My coworker Darren, who I'd barely spoken to outside of jobs, started inviting me out for coffee, checking in on me. Even my landlord, a gruff older guy named Mr. Peters, slipped me a note once. "You're stronger than you think, kid." For every friend I lost, another stepped up. And maybe that was enough. Lauren, on the other hand, was unraveling. I heard through mutual connections that Nolan had ended things with her. Apparently, she'd gotten too possessive, even showing up at his gallery uninvited, demanding attention. Derek blocked her number entirely. By summer, word was out. Her reputation in our community was stained. People whispered about her affairs, the court testimony, the medical reports. She couldn't walk into a cafe without someone lowering their voice. And when she realized her grip on me was gone, she tried one last tactic: pity. She left a handwritten letter taped to my apartment door. "I don't know who I am without you. Please, can't we just start over? I'll be better. I'll fix everything. Don't throw away 20 years of love." I crumpled it and tossed it into the trash. Because it wasn't love anymore. Maybe it never had been. We didn't have children, but Lauren tried to twist that too. In one hearing, she testified that she'd always wanted a family, but that my depression had prevented it. She claimed I'd be an unfit father if I ever had kids. Kelly objected instantly. "Your Honor, this is irrelevant. The parties share no children. Miss Hale is attempting to smear Mr. Hale's character." The judge frowned. Sustained. But it rattled me. It showed how low Lauren was willing to sink. After that day, I promised myself something. No matter how much she dragged me through the mud, I wouldn't let her rewrite my story. The breakthrough came during financial discovery. Kelly's team traced thousands of dollars Lauren had spent at hotels, restaurants, and even airline tickets for a weekend getaway with one of her lovers. "Jonathan," Kelly said, sliding the reports across her desk, "this is our smoking gun. Not only can we prove infidelity, but we can also show marital funds were misused. This changes everything." In court, when Kelly presented the evidence, Lauren's face went pale. She tried to stammer some excuse about business travel, but the judge wasn't buying it. That was the moment I knew the tide had turned permanently. The final hearing came in late October. The courtroom was quiet, tense. Lauren sat across from me, wearing all black, her hands trembling. The judge's ruling was clear. I was granted full ownership of the marital home. Lauren was ordered to repay a portion of the funds she'd siphoned. Alimony? Denied. The judge cited her reckless behavior and financial misconduct. Lauren's jaw dropped. She whispered something to her attorney, who shook his head. It was over. When the gavel came down, I felt a weight lift off me that I hadn't realized I'd been carrying every day for years. I was free. Freedom wasn't fireworks and champagne. It was quieter. It was walking back into the house alone and realizing it was mine again. Not a battlefield. Not a trap. It was sleeping through the night without nightmares. It was learning how to cook for one. How to sit in silence without drowning in it. It was therapy sessions where Dr. Chen smiled and said, "You've come farther than you think." It was simple, and it was enough. Of course, Lauren didn't disappear. She showed up at my work once, waiting in the parking lot. "Jonathan, please, just hear me out," she begged, her makeup streaked from tears. "I made mistakes, but I love you. I always loved you." I looked at her. The same woman who'd laughed at me when I cried, who'd tried to destroy me in court, and felt nothing but emptiness. "You don't love me," I said quietly. "You love control, and you've lost it." Then I walked away, and for the first time, she didn't follow. Months later, life started to feel normal again. I fixed up the house, painted the walls, replaced furniture she'd chosen, made it mine. I reconnected with old friends I'd neglected. Some were surprised I reached out, some weren't there anymore, but the ones who showed up, those were real. And one night, at Darren's birthday party, I met someone new. Her name was Elena. She wasn't flashy like Lauren. She was grounded, warm, with a laugh that filled a room. We talked for hours, not about scars or pain, but about music, travel, books. For the first time, I realized my story wasn't over. Looking back now, I don't see myself as the man who was betrayed. I see myself as the man who survived. Lauren tried to shatter me, but all she did was break the illusion I'd been living in. And when I walked out of that courtroom, I didn't just leave her behind. I left behind the weakest version of myself. I'm not the man who begged her to stay anymore. I'm the man who learned how to walk away,